Allie, once again, I do want to confirm that the sheriff says that the suspect was shot dead. Now I want to step out of the frame so you can see that the crash actually happened before the shooting. Roseville Chief Ryan Monroe says the suspect, he believes, was in that white pickup truck. And you can see there's debris all over the road, bricks actually coming off from that red semi-truck, which they say was also involved. And I have seen police question and talk to a man in that white van that's farther down. No word on how this crash escalated to a shooting, but we did talk to a store clerk who said he heard tons and tons of shots, again saying that the crash took place first and then the shooting happened. But police have been pretty tight-lipped about exactly what took place, when it took place, and why it escalated to this point. But they did pass it off to the Macomb County Sheriff, who is taking the lead on this investigation, and they hope to have more of those questions answered later today. We will continue to stay on scene. A lot of police activity here, a lot of evidence markers as well. But again, this call came in around 6:30 this morning, and it seemed that everything escalated very quickly. Why is still the big question. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
Alex, I know a lot is developing right now. Thank you for staying on scene and gathering that information from us. We look forward to hearing more about how this happened. Taking a look now at our roads. Roads are a mess this morning in Macomb County in particular. We've got Groesbeck Highway closed for that police investigation between 12 and Martin. But now we also have this, a jackknife semi on westbound I-94 at Little Mac. The shoulder is open, allowing traffic through, but as you can imagine, we have quite a bit of slowdown there. Taking a look at our maps, a painstaking 2 miles per hour with stop and go traffic really past Metro Parkway. So if you find yourself in that stop and go traffic, westbound Metro Parkway, southbound Gratiot, that's going to take you to I-96. The connector there from Gratiot to 94 might be closed for a bit of construction. So if that does happen, if it is closed, just go ahead and use 696 to get back onto I-94.
Thanks, Allie. And we're back to using the heaters in the cars this morning. Temperatures down to 39 degrees in Pontiac. It's 38 in Ann Arbor, 39 in Howell, and just 41 degrees in Detroit. So temperatures for morning lows are just a few degrees below average, but this afternoon not going to warm up much, and we'll be a good 15 degrees below average for daytime highs. The wind chills, mid-30s right now. The wind is not too strong, and it's going to increase just about 10 to 15 miles per hour this afternoon. Clouds increase, though. Chance of scattered showers goes up, especially north of 96 and 696. That's the best chance of some showers. Going to be in northern Oakland, Livingston, Macomb, and then Lapeer, St. Clair, Sanilac counties. And yes, some snow expected across the thumb later on tonight. Could be as much as an inch of snow on the grass in parts like Huron and Sanilac counties. So some snow across the thumb as it's cold enough. And we'll be drying out, but it'll be about the cold still for the next day and a half, today, tonight, and tomorrow. Wind chills this afternoon, low 40s, while the temperature is going to be about 48 for a high. And the wind chill by tomorrow morning will be in the mid-20s. It's going to feel even colder tomorrow morning with temperatures around 30 degrees tomorrow. Wind chills will be in the upper 30s tomorrow afternoon. Allie, back to you.
Thank you, Kevin. We now know the name of a Grand Rapids police officer who shot and killed Patrick Loyola during a traffic stop earlier this month. His name is Christopher Schur. He's been on administrative leave ever since the deadly shooting on April 4th. The Grand Rapids police chief says he released Schur's name in the interest of transparency to reduce ongoing speculation and to avoid further confusion. Ben Johnson is one of the attorneys representing Loyola's family.
This is something that should have been done 3 weeks ago. It is one of many things that can be shown to the family that their grief is being taken seriously.
A criminal defense attorney in Kalamazoo with expertise in cases involving police officers says she believes Schur's safety could be part of the reason why the department failed to release his name sooner. She also doesn't think the release of his name will have any effect from a criminal defense perspective. We'll turn now to the war in Ukraine and the chilling new warning from the Kremlin. This morning, Russia's military minister saying that the conflict in Ukraine could further escalate into World War III. Also, the Kremlin says NATO weapons deliveries are essentially a proxy war against Russia. Russia says its armed forces will consider the warehouses storing these weapons as legitimate targets. Meanwhile, Americans can now apply to help bring Ukrainian refugees to the U.S. The Department of Homeland Security published a page on its website for U.S. citizens and groups who have already identified Ukrainians they want to sponsor. Refugees approved to be sponsored will be granted humanitarian parole, which will allow them to live and work in the U.S. for at least 2 years. The Biden administration is granting clemency to 78 incarcerated people. The plan includes 3 pardons and 75 people who will have their sentence reduced. 2 people from Michigan are on the list. Back in 2017, Mario Cruz of Grand Rapids was sentenced to 10 years with 3 years supervised release on non-violent drug charges. His sentence is now set to expire 1 year from today, with the remainder to be served in home confinement. And Jesse Allen Tremu of Burton will also be released from prison 1 year from today's date. In 2016, he again sentenced to 10 years behind bars with 8 years of supervised release for a non-violent drug charge. Well, the big day is finally here, the launch day for the Ford F-150 Lightning pickup. The electric vehicle is already selling lightning quick. The first F-150 Lightnings will roll off the assembly line today. The pickup may be the company's most revolutionary vehicle since the Model T. 7 Action News reporter Peter Maxwell has a look at a very special day for one particular employee.
It's a very special day for all these Ford Motor Company employees, especially the ones who have been working on the assembly of the F-150 Lightning and the pre-production units. But it's a very special day for one employee in particular, a 5th-generation employee who helped oversee the launch of this project.
Ford has always been on my mind since I was a child. I mean, it was kind of inevitable, right? It's in my blood.
Since she was a little girl, Megan Jageski says Ford Motor Company has played a major role in her life. This is a photo of Megan as a little girl on the back of a red Ford F-150.
Yeah, my family's been at the Rouge facility, and now I work at the Rouge facility every single day. So I feel incredibly fortunate to be a part of a tradition that long, over 100 years.
It started with her great-great-grandfather when he and his wife immigrated from Romania. Her great-great-grandfather, John Milos Sr., was a production line worker and wanted to live the American dream to provide a better life for future generations. Then his son, John Milos Jr., and his wife, Mary Milos, joined Ford. Mary's story is more like Rosie the Riveter.
Not only am I 5th generation on the male side of the family through my mother's line, but also 4th generation female working at Ford.
Now, following in her family's footsteps and following her father, who was an executive director of manufacturing for the North American powertrain, Megan started at Ford 5 years ago. She is now the supervisor of the historic F-150 Lightning launch of America's best-selling pickup, now electrified.
Driving the Lightning has been a really incredible experience. The acceleration's insane. The features are really cool. It's definitely a truck. It's definitely a truck experience for the customer.
Since there's no engine, the F-150 Lightning has a frunk or a front trunk for extra storage and cargo space. The newly electrified pickup can not only power your tailgate, it can also charge your tools too. The F-150 Lightning project is one that Megan holds closely to her heart, a proud moment of hers in 2021 on the big reveal day.
The fully painted vehicle out there for everyone to see, driving up onto the stage and seeing the excitement around that and how everyone on our team reacted to that was probably one of the proudest moments I've had with my group.
Now those first production units are going to be rolling off the assembly line at 1:30 this afternoon. Now the big question is, what color is going to be the first F-150 Lightning rolling off the assembly line today? Is it going to be Atlas Blue, Star White, or Rapid Red? Well, we're going to have to wait and find out. Reporting in Dearborn, I'm Peter Maxwell, 7 Action News.
Cold and bright this morning and this afternoon. More clouds roll in. Even the chance of rain goes up, but not for everybody. So I'm going to show you where the best chances of rain will be today and when we're going to be warming back up in the 7-day.
Thank you, Kevin. Also this morning, a new move to protect children from violent offenders.
It's terrifying as a mom. You feel helpless. and knowing that she's back on these streets again.
Next, an in-depth look at Wyatt's Law and the registry it's creating to better track child abusers and determined moms who made it happen. Michigan has for years provided a sex offender registry where people can search by name and location. Now, in a matter of weeks, the state health department will provide access to a child abuse offender registry. It's been years in the making, and two moms from right here in the Detroit area helped make it happen. 7 Action News reporter Jim Kurtzner goes in depth this morning to take a look at Wyatt's Law.
Getting something done here in Lansing isn't easy, even if it seems like it's a no-brainer.
It hasn't hit me yet. I can't really put into words.
Listen or proceed to vote.
The vote would be unanimous and take only seconds. It took 7.5 years to get here.
We both got chills when the vote went through.
Meet Wyatt, the 9-year-old for whom this new law is named. He saw the ABC on our mic and wanted to show off.
HIJKLP.
This is Wyatt when he was a year old, abused by his father's girlfriend. The parents were divorced.
Major brain bleed, fractured skull, and bilateral retinal hemorrhages. And they believed it to be due to non-accidental head trauma, also known as shaken baby syndrome. He was in the hospital for 2 months. He's had 4 brain surgeries, 3 eye surgeries.
It turns out Wyatt would be the second child abused by the same woman. Christine's 3-year-old son, Travis, had been drugged and abused.
My son ended up testing positive for Seroquel, which was a manic depressant bipolar medication that she was prescribed. She also forced him to drink dish soap. She wouldn't allow him to use the restroom, having to force him to urinate on himself.
That woman would eventually be convicted of child abuse and did 5 years of a 10-year sentence. She's off parole and does not show up on any criminal public database.
Wyatt, unfortunately, has permanent brain damage. She gave him a life sentence, and unfortunately she's already out of prison. She got out in 2020. She's free to roam around, do whatever she wants.
It's terrifying as a mom. You feel helpless, and knowing that she's back on these streets again.
To be clear, Wyatt's Law does not establish a searchable public database like the sex offender registry. The new law requires the state health department to establish public access going through them. That could be by phone, by email, by a web request. It could eventually become a searchable database by the public. This long, personal, political battle is all documented in Wyatt the Warrior on Facebook. The bill for the open registry was first introduced in 2015.
The last session it passed out of the Senate, and unfortunately the former speaker didn't take it up.
He's talking about former House Speaker Lee Chatfield facing his own allegations, including sexually assaulting a teenager. Chatfield has not been charged. His investigation is ongoing.
You could call him, but I don't think he's taking press calls right now.
The two moms figure they've come up to Lansing to lobby 100 times over the last 7 years. They're not backed by any big money special interests. Just them, supporters, and Wyatt.
It's all about Wyatt's Law.
You are going to be in the record books in Michigan.
Wow.
Their work in Michigan has also led to similar child abuse offender registries to go online in Indiana, which is searchable by the public, and another one in the works in Utah. Quite the celebration at their favorite lunch spot in Lansing.
Mission accomplished.
Absolutely.
Yep. And
Mama's on a mission.
Yes, Mama's on a mission.
This is an election year. Don't be surprised if the governor does a ceremonial bill signing. Not here, but at Metro Detroit. Jim Kurtzner, 7 Action News.
Thank you, Jim. We have more information on Wyatt's Law and Wyatt's ongoing battle on our website, WXYZ.com. Kevin?
Start to the day. It's been in the upper 30s, maybe low 40s, and at least the sun has been out, and we haven't had any rain yet, but the chance of rain does tick back up, especially north of Detroit by this afternoon. The wind chill right now, just a couple of degrees lower than the air temperature. The wind isn't too strong. It's around 5 or 6 miles per hour now. But we're going to keep an eye on what's happening over northern Wisconsin and the northern portion of Lake Michigan throughout this morning. That's where the energy is going to be coming from to spark some scattered showers this afternoon. So the best chance of rain still looks to be north of I-96 and across the thumb, while areas from Detroit to Ann Arbor and south will likely stay dry this afternoon. But this evening, Chance of some snow also across the thumb, and maybe an inch of snow, at least on the grass, across portions of the thumb. So it's cold enough for snow, and this is a look at the latest snow forecast. And most areas it's under an inch, but Bad Axe maybe just over an inch of snow as it's cold enough. We'll be below freezing overnight tonight. And then tomorrow will be around 30 degrees to start, warming up just to the mid 40s in the afternoon. Partly sunny, at times still mostly cloudy tomorrow, but it's going to be a dry day. And then